water supplied by a public municipality or a private well for residential or commercial use, Purified Water Services LLC has the solutions to provide you with simply clean water. We offer a complete line of professional water filtration equipment and accessories. Soft water makes a difference you can see and feel. Water heater and appliances last longer with less maintenance. Iron and H2S filters eliminate iron stains and offensive rotten egg odors and protects your water softener equipment from iron fouling. No matter what your problem is, Purified Water Services LLC has a solution. Contact Kenny Williams at 352-446-2709. Welcome back to another edition of the Goblay Show. I'm your host, Billy Goble, and today I have a special guest. She is a great friend of mine, and we worked together many, many moons ago. I don't want to say too many moons, but it was quite a, it's been, I don't know, 25 years maybe?
Since we worked together?
Yeah, when we first started.
I mean, yeah.
It was 2000, yes. It's 2025.
Oh my
All right.
I don't teach math.
Without further ado, I want to welcome my guest, Miss Tracey. Is it right still?
No. Tracey Downey.
Tracey, I'm kidding. Tracey Downey.
Tracey.
I apologize.
Marie Wright Downey.
Marie
Wright Downey.
It. Okay. Miss Tracey Marie Downey. Tracey, welcome to the Goblay Show.
Thank you.
How you doing?
So excited to be here. So good to see you.
Those of you just watching, this is going to be a funny show. It's not going to be my normal show because I feel like I can cut loose.
We can be serious. I can be very serious.
We can be very serious.
No fun.
But there's no fun in that.
Right.
That's been my motto for years,
Not serious?
Can't be serious.
Oh, I've never known that to be you at all. You're always so calm.
Well, it's an act.
Oh.
It's all an act.
Do you need to lay down? Let's lay down. Let's talk about it.
Tracey, I appreciate you taking your time out of your busy schedule. I know you are busy and you're not just a hop, skip, and a jump. You have traveled quite a bit just to come over today, and I appreciate that.
It's my honor. I'm so excited to be here. I'm so excited for you. This is amazing.
Well, thank you. It's a lot of work has been put into this, and it's been a journey to say the least. And I've enjoyed every step of it.
It's perfect for you, though.
Yeah,
it is. I mean, literally from break rooms, hamming it up with you to see this. This is so you. When you announced this, it was like, oh, of course.
Right. I had a lot of people go, well, this is right up your alley. But to be completely honest, the first time that I did it, my first show, I was a nervous wreck. I mean, you wouldn't think that, but it's just a one-man show. I always say that it's a one-man show. I have a great editor, Logan. He does a great job.
Good job, Logan.
Thank you.
Make me look thin.
But he does a great job, and I've had a lot of fun with it. So, 2 years of this and over 100 shows.
Wow.
And, yeah.
Okay, I lied to you earlier. Then I have not watched 100 shows. I've watched quite a few, but dang, I lied.
Yeah. No, you're good. You're good. But I'm so glad you could come over because I want to, I like to have old friends come on and we talk about the good old days. There's a lot of Disney fans out there. And if not Disney fans, we also have another cool segment that we'll talk about that you dabble in a little bit on a daily basis now that you're not at Disney anymore. And we're going to talk a little bit about history because everybody loves history. But how are you, by the way? How's it going? How's life?
It's good. Life is really good right now. Yeah. I am, so unbelievably happy. Things are amazing. I love being a mom. I love being a teacher. I still love Disney though. Oh, yeah. Every time I go, it's like, I don't know. I don't think anyone will understand it unless you worked there.
Yeah.
But it's going home.
Oh yeah.
And I feel like that's because we were raised there. Like I was 19 when I started. You know what I mean? And I don't know. It's like college for other people who are like, it was in a frat party. I'm like, oh, was it a Disney party?
Yeah.
Don't judge us. Jungle gyms, you know.
R.I.P. Jungle Gyms.
Right. Oh, take a moment. Yeah, like those are the things. Like, so I think I was raised, quote unquote, in my college years in a different way than other people. So that led me to where I am. And life is so good. I'm tired all the time though. I don't know if that's age.
Well, that's from doing all the cool stuff in the parks, I say.
Right. And the ability to do things like I can go without sleep. I'm good. I'll go for days, you know, because I've trained for that because of late nights. And,
right.
You know, but when I'm done, I'm done. I'm like, all right, I'm tired.
When you're ready to crash, you're ready to crash.
Right.
Well, I, on the other hand, have sleep apnea. So I can't go without
the mask.
The mask. I have to have the mask.
I would be like, coffee.
Well, I'll be honest with you. The first, I don't know, 3 nights, it was kind of hard. You know, you were like, oh my gosh, I don't think I'm going to be able to do this, but you have to because
it helps you.
It is crazy. Sleep apnea is no joke. I mean, it's when the guy came to my house, they did the sleep study. They sent the thing home to the house, and I thought I was going to go somewhere, and you know how it is, like going somewhere and you're going to be hooked up all these wires. You hear all the stories. Yeah, the key word is sleep. Like you're not going to be able to do that. And I just was very, very scared that it was going to be, you know, a hard time to deal with. They sent this machine to my house, and literally it looked like it was just like, you know, like when you're watching an episode of like General Hospital or ER, it's like the 2 plugs for oxygen. I always refer to a hospital scene because that's the only time I've ever seen them. Unless I've seen a gentleman dragging an oxygen tank smoking before.
Yes, because
Which is bizarre because I'm like, dude, you're a firework.
Right. Switch hands. Put the cigarette on the other side.
Yes. At least get it away from the tank.
Right. Leave that over there.
Why don't you do us all a favor on the bus?
We're in a confined area. I've seen this in a movie.
Yes. It's about as safe as smoke.
You can't put things in my nose. When I had my daughter and had a C-section and they were like, we're just going to do this and get, you know, put the oxygen. And I was like, no. She said, what do you mean no? And I said, no, you're not putting that on my nose. Yeah. She was like, we're about to cut you open. And I was like, well, choices. Don't put it in my nose. And she was like, ma'am, you have to. I'm like, I lasted about 2 seconds into the cut. I was like, they were like, are you all right? I'm like, I can't. And then they just put it in my nose. And I'm like, oh, that's better. Okay.
Well, when you said, hey, let's do this, I thought that meant the C-section.
Yeah.
Then I all right.
It's time.
They come in with a stick. You're like, what are you doing?
Move around. It looks good. Take her out.
You're like, yep.
She's ready.
She's dilated. What? It's a C-section.
When they stick that, when you go to open a cake and you like put the knife in and you're like, it's done.
Just one big toothpick.
Right. It looks good. She looks good. Take her out. Oh, God. Wait, back to sleep apnea and go.
And segue back to CPAP. But I ended up getting the machine. I slept with that thing in my nose and sent it back the very next day, which I thought, man, that's not enough data or data, what you want to call it. Not from the Goonies, but
good character.
Yeah, good.
40th anniversary. Congratulations, Goonies. We're proud of you.
Yes. But no, I thought it was enough. That's not enough data to where, you know, it can pretty much set up your, because, you know, without it, which I'm glad I have it now, but if I didn't know, I didn't, you know, it's a big deal. Like that's like,
because you stop breathing.
Yeah. So get this. I would stop breathing 79 times in an hour. And he's like basically like, bro.
Gonna need you to do this.
He's like, you know, there's only 60 minutes in an hour. And I was like, yes, I do know that.
I graduated.
So I'm like, wow. So that's bad. That's bad, okay?
Is there a number I'm trying to reach? I'm always striving to be the best.
I said, man, I was always like a C student, so 79 is right there.
I'm proud.
I busted my butt for that.
Right.
And so, anyways, they sent me the stuff, and the guy, he said, man, your brain is cooking. Like, and when he said that, I was like, oh my gosh, like, because literally you're depriving your brain of oxygen.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, so it's crazy, but that's why it's I am such an advocate for it now. Like, if I hear somebody say, I really don't sleep good, and I'm like,
sleep apnea.
Like,
I'm diagnosing you.
I'm like WebMD, but only one reason.
You can't go to WebMD is though. I have a headache and I'll be like, what is the problem? I go to WebMD. Next thing I know, that I have to amputate my foot and I have a cornea problem. And I'm like, anytime my kids are hurt, my students are like, Miss Downey. I'm like, if I look it up, you probably need to order your funeral stuff. They're like,
we'll start making arrangements soon.
I'm calling your parents.
Yeah. Have you phoned a loved one?
Right. Let me check for your chart.
Speaking of that, like charts, there was a guy who, this guy was telling me that, how they botch like operations and stuff. Someone recently that I know had a family member where they went in to amputate a foot and it was the wrong foot.
That happened in Tampa years ago.
I know.
That would be so.
Man, that's
like, how do you recovery?
Crazy.
Waking up out of recovery on a surgery is so bad anyway. Yeah. Like, you're groggy.
The rehab too.
Right. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, that's funny. You guys played a joke on me. My foot's gone wrong.
Yeah.
When I had my Achilles surgery, they put so many X's up and down my leg.
I was going to say, it looks like a 5-year-old drew on it.
Yeah. They even let my daughter draw it. They're like, you can draw an X on it too. Point the arrow. And I was like, you just put the X's down the wrong leg. To me, I would be like, X means no. Go to the other leg.
Yeah. Oh, that's probably, that's probably what they thought.
Why aren't you using arrows? Like, why aren't you being like...
But it's crazy though. I'm like, in today's medicine and today's modern medicine and science.
Right. And you amputated.
Yes.
You didn't just like,
didn't operate.
Right. We opened your chest and realized it was supposed to be on your buttocks.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
This is like...
That's a setback.
Sorry.
It's a minor setback.
Right.
You cut off the wrong limb.
Right. And I already bought only right shoes. I'm screwed.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I would be upset. You probably get money for that though.
I hope so. I hope the family was highly compensated. They have to be.
Have to be. There's no way. Like, how do you? First of all, when you look at the doctor, when you wake up, and at what point does the doctor realize when you say, "Oh my gosh, you cut off the wrong foot"?
Yeah.
Is that when the doctor goes? And what does the doctor say? My bad. Like, what do you say to that?
Yeah.
I mean, you're no longer a doctor. That's insane.
Yeah, it's crazy. But
it's why I'll never have surgery.
But
ever.
I can't stay in hospital. I can't. Even if I have a family member. My dad had a massive heart attack. Probably it was 10 years ago, and anytime somebody's in there, I hated going there.
Yeah.
It wasn't the person I didn't want to go see. It was just the fact that it's like, I don't know. It's the worst possible place to go.
No, I agree with you. I
mean, there's an old saying that somebody told me one time. They're like I asked, how you doing? And they said, I'd rather be in the, I'd rather be here than the finest hospital in the state.
Oh.
And so I'm like, wow, that's very specific.
Right. But you know what though? It's so odd. I had a conversation with my husband last night. He told me that he just read an article about people are now starting to have living funerals because of no one wants to see their loved ones, going towards that end of their life,
Oh, you're good.
going towards the end of their life and not being able to celebrate it and stuff like that. So he read about it because he was like, that's crazy. That's a good idea. Why didn't I read? And then he looked it up and he said, it's a really common thing all of a sudden. Like, people are doing these living funerals.
So what do they do? What exactly do they do? You
set up your entire funeral minus the casket and people attend it. It's a service. And then it's like basically a celebration of life. But instead of it being after you're dead, you get to enjoy it.
Oh.
And then they ride out the rest of it. They say, thank you so much. Please don't. We want to be alone with our family now.
Yeah.
There will be no funeral. There's it's just over when it's over. And part of me is like, that now you would have to know, okay, I'm terminally ill. I'm going,
Right.
And I don't know that I disagree with that, because I'd much rather my loved ones see me getting to be me.
Yeah.
Than dying in a hospital, because hospitals are hospitals, and those are, so
exactly.
I don't know, it gave me a whole new thought on life. And now he's like, we just had our retirement planning. The guy came and sat with me and he's like, so time to start talking about retirement. I'm like, that's not, I'm 20. What are you talking about? And he's like, I don't think you're 20. I'm like, third, almost 50, and it's like, how is it even possible? But you have to, so then he started talking about that last night. I'm like, do you have to tell me something? Did you go to WebMD? What's happening?
Do you like in your head when like someone says, oh, that was like 20 years ago, do you think it's like 19 or not 19, but like 2000, like 2000 or whatever?
Yeah, there's no, first of all, 2000 and 2025 never happened. I'm still in the 1900s. So when I teach, oh my gosh, and I'll say, okay, you guys listen.
Yeah.
This wasn't that, like when I'm teaching civil rights.
Right.
And I'll say, this wasn't that long ago.
Yeah.
In 1992, which they'll go, that's so long. I'm like, pipe down. It's not. It was like a year and a half ago I was in high school. How can I look this cute and still be, come on. But it blows my mind. Or I'm teaching World War II currently. Yeah. I'm teaching World War II. And I'm like, you guys, this is when you understand history the best, because you know so much about it.
Yep.
And it's not that far away from you. And one kid goes, do the math. And I'm like, I teach history. But the kid was like, Downey, it was like 80 years ago. And I was like, no, because it's still 1999.
Yeah.
No, I don't hear. Somewhere between 2000 and 2019, it's like, where did that time go? Like, I know I had a kid in there and got married. I know all that, but it's like, I don't know. It's just weird.
Yeah, 2010 to 20 was like a blur.
Yes.
But it was like
adulting.
I guess so.
Trying to figure it out.
I saw a video on, I watch a lot of, my wife is annoyed by it, but I watch a lot of like Instagram reels and Facebook reels. I don't do TikTok because, I don't know, just didn't do it. But
because it always reminds me of the chipmunk ways, the Japanese said, tick-tock for Chippendale.
I think it's just because I don't like doing the thing everybody does. Like, I don't like doing like several years ago there was everybody had a Mustang. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like 20 years ago, it was probably 30 years ago, but
1940.
But it's like
I'm not following that.
Everybody loves a certain thing.
Right.
I feel like it's a trend, not a trend, but you know what I'm saying. Like, so I try to do. Sometimes I go against the grain just for the heck of it. But there was a video of this guy. He was like talking about Pablo Picasso, and he was like, Pablo Picasso. He goes, you guys know he died in 1973. I thought he died in 1320.
Right, for sure. Same thing with Einstein.
Yeah.
Like, in my brain, I'm not stupid.
Yeah.
He worked on the atomic bomb, but I'm like, Albert Einstein, he must have died in the 1800s.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what do you mean he worked on the atomic bomb?
Yeah. I'm like, and then you start thinking about it, like, yeah, he saw the moon landing for kind of like, instead of like seeing it like outside his window, like, one day we'll get there.
Right. Galileo-esque.
One day, and he's got like, I don't even know what that utensil's like, and I know it's like a telescope of some sort, but I don't know the real name of it. But he's like, it's like the one that looks like a rocker horse. You ever seen those?
Yes.
It's like Epcot, Spaceship Earth. They're like looking around, like.
Right. What is the rocking horse part of it?
The rocking horse is the little.
Yeah, no, I know that, but like, what was that for?
Oh, I don't know.
It was probably to measure something.
Maybe the distance from star.
That mathematics is
I don't
good.
need a protractor.
That's what it looks like.
On my telescope. Yeah, this is basically what.
That's for measurement. That's exactly
a protractor.
Who thought of these things? Why did I not? Why did I just become a teacher? Like, I look at stuff and I think, how come they get to make so much money off that? I decided to do something fun. I make $12. I put 1,500 into it. I made 12 in the end. I'm like, like it doesn't,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, who decided I'm going to put a telescope on top of a protractor? And then someone was like, I'm going to break the telescope off. I'm going to add a pencil and I'm going to make a game where kids just swirl around and we're going to call it Spirograph and kids are going to love it. Then I'm going to get rid of it, bring it back out in the 90s. Kids are going to love it again.
Yes. And then I'm going to put a little bit of black shoe polish on it and I'm going to give people with it as a prank.
Right. And then I'm going to add a transparency and kids are going to draw faces on it, like a little mustache on a face for $1. And then I'm going to make millions. And I'm like, listen, I'm going to write a book and I'm going to get 10 cents. Or the kids will be like, I have an idea. And I said, listen, stop saying this. I'm going to start writing all your ideas down. I'm going to make millions one day on all their ideas.
Yeah, exactly.
Nope.
You're like, is it patent? No.
Right. Do you know what a copyright is? I haven't taught you yet. I'm taking
Does it have TM or a big old copyright sitting on there? Or what's going on?
I don't even know what that is.
No.
I say things sometimes, like if I use the word protractor, do you know what word I'm going to use tomorrow? I guarantee it, an outro. When my kids leave the class, I'm going to have an outro now from now on. And I'm going to say, you know what that is, kids? It's an outro. And they go, what is that? I'm going to go, an outroduction. Everyone knows it.
No, you should tell them. And I don't even know if this is true or not. I would have to look it up. But I just like spitting out facts.
Yeah, for sure.
But the word exit came from, apparently the origin of that is, there was a story about how they had this huge, I don't know if it was a tent or something like a circus type deal, and something happened. They needed to get everybody out. Well, they couldn't tell them which way to go, and I think his name was like the Great Egret. So
an egress?
Egress, right?
Yeah.
So they put his name up there as like, go to the egress, to the exit. And people started to, understand that that's how you get out of the tent or wherever they were. I'm not 100% sure.
It sounds really good. Say it with confidence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I saw it on Night Court. I think it
It's definitely true then.
Oh, definitely.
Everything on the internet is true.
Harry said it.
Yeah. So people are like, who's Harry right now? It's a girl on Night Court.
Yeah, I know, right? John Larroquette's on there. Have you seen that?
Yes.
So great.
Yes.
Tony,
so is
Tony
Sal,
Robinette.
you took it from Tony. If you're watching this, he took it from me. I was going to say that, but we know Tony. We know Tony.
Trying to get Tony on the show.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, and Isaac. We need to get both of them.
Isaac and I have conversed, and we're gonna do that too. So
that man has got shoulders to die for.
Yeah, he's buffed up since his
and Tony's got
Animal Kingdom days.
Tony's got a Dunkin' commercial. Like, come on.
I know. He's there with Ben Affleck and wasn't Tom Brady in there too? But he was in the same scene. He was in the same. I think Tom Brady was.
I don't know, but kudos to them. It was so funny. My daughter was watching the show Family Reunion, and I'm sitting there. I go up to tell her, I'm like, Alexander, you have to go. But that's my friend Isaac. What is Isaac doing on the television? And so I message him, and I'm like, Isaac, are you? My daughter's like fawning over you. Like, what is happening? And he was like, yeah, I'm so excited I was on the show. And I'm like, so excited. My daughter is watching you. Like, you are my friend from Disney. Yeah. I have seen you in sweats and basics. You had barcodes, Isaac. Barcodes. Tony, you had barcodes.
You had side Velcros for crying out loud.
Yes, I did. Oh my gosh. Did you know, speaking of side Velcro, this is so random. Did you see the post I made of the shoes that the kids are wearing now?
No.
Okay. Okay, so I'm just going to set the scene. Kid is walking down the hall towards me. She has on leggings and a skirt that's too short, out of dress code. But on her feet, starts about mid-calf, and it's just fur boots all the way down to the ground. Oh, and they are light brown with a tinge of black.
PJ?
And
not PJ.
No.
So you know where I'm going with that.
Yes. So I took a picture and I posted it and I said, all right, Department 384, what do you see right now? Name it. And people are like, offset Wendell, offset Shaker Bear, offset like, and they're all wearing them and they think they're offset. But so I walked up to the girl and I said, can I see the bottom of your shoe, please? She said, what do you mean? I said, I need to see if there's Velcro. She was like, no, it's just a shoe. And I was like, yeah, but is there Velcro attached to the fur? And she was like, no. Downey, why are you looking at my shoe like that? I'm like, you're wearing costume shoes. You stole these from Disney.
She got them from the Wildwood Antique Mall.
Probably.
Have you been there?
Yes. My throne. Am I allowed to say that? A throne. There was a throne that looked similar to Cinderella and Fairy Godmothers was in there.
Allegedly.
And I told my husband, I need this. And he was like, we're not buying this. And I said, that's a throne of someone I love. Spent hours in the throne.
Yes. Listen, they have a...
But they're closing.
Oh, they are?
They are.
Why?
Because it's gotten a little out of hand. So there will now be a Disney antique store, which
Disney
really doesn't even come. No, no, somebody, but it's too much. Like it's lost its side of like the whole thing is Disney now. So, and some of us real antique people, we wanted, so they're moving to a smaller venue with all the antiques. And then I guess they're opening a store for Disney things.
Well, you know, there's a place in Wildwood. It's the same thing as the Wildwood Antique Mall. That's where it's named after, is Wildwood, which is
the
north of us.
Wildwood one is still just Wildwood. That one is Lakeland Antique because Wildwood no longer wanted to.
Oh, so they pulled out from there. I see.
A long time ago. And then it's been Lakeland Antique Mall.
Okay, it's been a while.
Oh my gosh, but I see the stuff in there and I'm like, those are chipmunk gloves. Somebody got on West Clock.
Got drunk.
Somebody got West Clock. They didn't get checked by security. And why didn't I take out a pair of gloves?
Yeah. Could have had a whole deal.
Right. To wear on my off days.
To wear? Where would you wear it?
Clearly to Ridge Community High School. Because just the shoes. I'm like, you guys don't even know what boots with the fur is. Look at this. I'm going to show you how to animate.
Oh my God.
I'm a red. P.S. I was a red. Thank you very much.
Oh, that's awesome. That's like, I think when we say that, superpowers combined, something happens.
Yeah.
Somebody just got promoted over there.
Somebody watching this is
somebody
like,
got disapproved.
But somebody watching this, when they watch this, is going to say it before we say it. They're going to be like, red. I'm going to eat it. Yep. Shout out.
So for those who don't know Disney lingo, red was your animation and your dance. You had two sides. You had
split personalities,
basically.
So, I'm a face character.
So you had, and it was all colors.
Yep.
So you had, red, yellow, and blue or green. Which one was it? There was 3 colors.
Green.
It was green. Okay. Well, you make blue and yellow make green. No?
It's yellow and blue make green. You can't say blue and yellow.
Sorry, I don't know my colors either.
And then red and blue make purple.
That's true. That's why the kids say, you want to make purple? Do you know that? Oh, have you heard that?
Why does the kid just say you want to make purple?
Well, you know, when two come together, what makes purple?
Oh, my. La. That's not what they say at school.
Oh, no. Well, I've heard some,
they meet in the elevators.
Some kids say that.
That's against the rules.
Yeah, PD. Handshake.
There's no fornication or coitus.
Coitus.
I had to teach my kids that word.
They need to watch Young Sheldon. He says it all the time.
That's what I said.
Big Bang Theory.
I said, but these kids are too young for Big Bang.
So we got to talk Disney because we've already started. So we got to talk Disney.
Okay.
So before we even do that, let's go back, Tracey. Let's go back to, like I always like to say,
to the 1900s.
Back in the day, we'll have Mark Twain do the whole gather around the sword. No, that's Merlin.
I'm gonna lay down.
Oh my gosh, this is our therapy couch. So let's go back to where are you originally from? Like, are you from Florida?
Nope.
Okay, so let's go.
Okay, so I'm from Texas.
Oh, Tejas.
Tejas. I'm from Houston, Texas. Born and raised. I was there for 18 years. I went to Stephen F. Austin, go Jacks, and I was there for a year.
Did you know Mike Jones?
Yes, he's great guy.
Was that 805? What's the area code there?
713.
713.
It might be 805 now, but when I was there, it was 713.
I forgot he said his number on a rap song one time, and people started calling.
That's 305. That's Pitbull.
No. He says it too. I have to play.
You're wrong.
No, I know it's 305. That's where the cigarette comes from. 305s? They're made in Miami.
Have I ever told you the story about how we got the exit signs? There was a...
Okay. We got to have some water here.
All right. So Houston, Texas. My parents said you can go to college, but if you fail, you have to move because my dad had been transferred to Florida. And I said, I'm not going to fail. And then my parents moved me to Florida because I failed. Yep, that's right. Teachers can get bad grades too. And
absolutely.
So I went to my freshman year of college, was a blur. Moved here. I actually was only here for 3 weeks. I went to open my bank account at Bank of America. And the woman there was the woman that was helping me. I kept making her laugh. And she was like, you're really funny. And I was like, thank you. She said, you should work at Disney. And I was like, you're right. And she
Why haven't I thought of that?
She said, I'm going to make a phone call. And I said, I'm sorry, what? This is no lie. This has happened in Bank of America.
Wow.
In 1995, she said, you need to work. And then I feel like it happened so quickly. She got on the phone. She made a phone call. And then about 45 minutes later, I get a call. Mm-hmm. There are no cell phones. So the woman left a message on our answering machine in the apartment we were living in, waiting for our house to be built. Hi, this is so-and-so from Disney World. We'd like to talk to you.
Wow.
I called. I was in casting by Friday. My mother, this is so my mom, she wanted to get me the perfect suit. I wore a suit. Can you imagine people doing that now? Wore this coral colored suit to the casting building, walked up that long ramp and said, please, please, please let me get this job. Please let me get this job. Walked in to talk to this woman. She met me. She talked to me and she said, so they are bringing females to the Jungle Cruise this summer for the first time ever because it used to be an all-guy ride.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yes, and I said, okay, because I had gone to Disney World 3 times when I was a kid. Like we spent our entire life savings on 2 vacation spots, New York to see family and Florida. And so here I was, and she said, do you know what the Jungle Cruise is? And I said, yes. And she said, okay. A week later, I was in, I just blanked on the name, Traditions, which was a week when I did it.
Oh, wow. Not just a day.
A whole week.
Oh, wow.
A whole week. And I, my greatest memory of Traditions, they brought you, they used to, I don't know what they do now, but they brought you, they had you look at the castle and they had you take pictures. And then they brought you down to the Utilidor and they said, before they brought us down, they said, you'll never see this castle the same way again. And you don't because now you're a part of it. Mm-hmm. So cool. And I started a Jungle Cruise. So I worked at Jungle Cruise for a year.
That's so cool.
And had to have throat surgery. Because as you can hear, set 'em up, Joe. Like my voice is so deep. I couldn't handle doing the 10 spiels a day. Mm-hmm. And I would always work overtime. But great memories there, sleeping in, Swiss Family Treehouse overnights, like just cool things. And then I always wanted to be in entertainment. I was a dancer by nature. I'd been dancing my whole life. And I used to see Chad Lindsay and Bessie on the trikes during Mickey Mania. And I was like, oh my God, I want to be them so bad. I want to be them so bad.
I love me some Bessie.
Yes. Went to the tryout, got it. And then John Spano, thank you, John Spano. He gave me the opportunity, and Gene Harding, and I was in entertainment. And then a year after that, I was on tour with Disney for 6 months for the 25th anniversary as FGM. And then I was there for years,
what
25 years.
What year was that?
1997 was the 25th anniversary.
Okay.
And then I was there I was with the company until 2022, technically. 2020, really.
Yeah.
And then, so I was there forever. But I got to do some cool things. I was a trainer. I was, you name it, I did it.
Promotional consideration paid for by the following. Webster Ace Hardware and Farm Supply are generous sponsors for today's podcast. They have been a family-owned business for 27 years. This helpful hardware store sells items such as archery, Ariat clothing and boots, Wrangler jeans, case knives, Hammond's candies, and live fishing wear. They also have a full selection of hardware, RV supply, propane, Ben Moore, Royal & Clark, and Kenningston paints. You need a barn or fencing job done? Custom barn kits and roofing metal are provided at your local Ace Hardware store. What about a new grill for the yard? Traeger, Big Green Egg, Weber, and Blackstone are found here, along with all the accessories to go with them. Stock up your workshop with DeWalt, Milwaukee, or Craftsman tools. They got you covered. Remember to go to ace.com to shop their entire line to have items shipped directly to the store. Pat's Taps at Catfish Johnny's. Pat's Taps is Lake Penosofsky's newest tap room, offering 14 rotating craft beers on tap. We also offer bottled domestic beers, seltzers, ciders, and wine, as well as a variety of appetizers and puff. Our family-friendly tap room is a great place to come hang out and enjoy some one-of-a-kind craft beer. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, or the Untapped app. Looking for custom apparel that stands out? Welcome to the Stitching Heifers, Bushnell's premier embroidery and custom apparel shop. From custom hats, t-shirts and jackets to unique gifts and business branding, we specialize in high quality, personalized apparel that reflects your style and vision. Step into our exclusive hat bar and design your one-of-a-kind custom hat, perfect for personal flair or promoting your brand. At the Stitching Heifers, we're committed to bringing your ideas to life with exceptional service and attention to detail. Whether it's for you, your business, or a thoughtful gift, we're your trusted partner for all things custom in the heart of Sumter County. Stop by today or visit us online to get started. The Stitching Heifers, custom style, local heart. When it comes to building in Sumter County, experience matters. From remodels, barns, additions, and accessory buildings to creating the custom home of your dreams, our Hogan Construction delivers quality you can trust. Russell is hands-on and on-site daily, going above and beyond to ensure the project isn't just completed, but crafted to perfection. He doesn't just meet expectations, he exceeds them. For a builder who puts integrity and craftsmanship first, call R. Hogan Construction today at 352-793-7660. Russell Hogan Construction. Built on tradition, built to last. Catfish Johnny's Restaurant, serving the Lake Pennsauken and surrounding areas since 1990. For the last 33 years, we have strived to serve great food at great prices and a friendly, casual atmosphere. If seafood isn't your thing, our burgers or wings are the best around. We have daily specials too. Check us out on Facebook or Instagram for more information. Duto Realty is a homegrown business with an eye for getting the job done right. From football games to Sunday school and everything in between, these ladies care about our community and the people in it, helping buyers and sellers in all of Florida with all types of transactions, including residential, commercial, farm, or vacant land. They do it all. They even offer auction services and sellouts to always get the job done right. Promotional consideration paid for by the following: Travelin' Tom's Coffee Truck, the delicious mobile coffee truck that brings you the caffeination inspiration you need. We deliver signature coffee products like our Nitro Cold Brew and Caramel Frappe to any occasion or festivity. And for those who don't like coffee, we offer a variety of delicious hot chocolates, energy drinks, lemonades, and teas. That's Travelin' Tom's Coffee Truck. You know, I've said this before, but I love this story. When I went over there, my mom and I and my friend Sean O'Rourke, shout out Sean, we're like, hey, we're gonna go over there and get a job. And so we go the back way through 535. Mm-hmm. We come up the West Clock, and at that time they still had the guard shack. Yeah. And this guy comes out and he goes, "Can I help you guys?" And I'm like, "We want a job. We would like to go there to get a job." He goes, "Well, you're nowhere near that." So he said, "You need to go to the casting building." I was like, "Oh," we're like, "Well, here's a better question. Where is the casting building?"
The Izod sock. So when you said bank a minute ago, I'm like, "Were you at SunTrust?" No. That's where you get in trouble. Yeah. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. It's like Tracey's right next door. No, but anyways, he says, "You got to go this way." He's trying to, so we get to casting, and it literally is, for those of you who've never been in the casting building, it feels like when you go to see The Wizard of Oz. Yes. It really does. Yes. You walk in. Alice in Wonderland handle.
The door handles are the Alice in Wonderland door handles. They have the faces on them. You open the door. You walk in. There's this big foyer. You come in. You go to the left.
That's all it is, though. It's just this big foyer.
Oh, yeah. That's it.
And then turn.
You turn, and it's they might as well have a ride there. It looks
a
like
people mover.
Looks like the exit ramp for the monorail. That's how
the egress.
Egress this way. So you go there, and when I went there, of course, we didn't know what we were doing. We're just like, hey, we want a job. I'm like fresh out of high school. Like took a week off. Gonna go get a big boy job, Go big boy job. Theme park, yeah. So we walk up there, and the lady's like, took my general information, and then she's like, hey, what job are you interested in? Had this whiteboard. I'm like reading them. I'm like, oh, okay, let's see. I don't want to do busing. No, transportation, no. I'm 18 years old. I'm not driving people to the park. I'll run into something. Blah, blah, blah. Characters, nah, I can't dance because it says audition required. I'm like, negative. So I'm like, I see character. At the time, we were a greeter. Character greeter. Oh. Well, that sounds interesting. I wonder what that is. I didn't really even know what it was. So, go back through the interview process, and she's like, so it says you want to be a character creator. And I'm like, yes. She's like, do you have any idea what that is? And I said, no.
But I'm going to be good at it.
But I said, no. But I said, I'm assuming it's like a bodyguard, for the characters. And she's like, well, not really. And I'm like, she was way off.
Right. She was wrong. That should be their title.
She was wrong. So I was like, I had it down. But anyways, so I went through the whole process and stuff and got the job. My buddy he ended up being a prep cook at the time. He worked at Victoria and Albert's and was a prep cook.
Wow.
I think it was Victoria. He was at Grand Floridian, but he was working in the restaurant. We were going to go do culinary. And then I realized I don't want to cook for the rest of my life. So it's not a very good field to get into if you have to do it every day. Kind of like when people go, I want to be in elementary education, and then they go to a classroom and they go, wait, what? I'm here with these kids all day?
Right. Then they become high school teachers and they go, wait, what? I'm going to be here with these kids all day? Then they go to college and go, wait, what? I'm going to be here with these kids for the next 3 hours.
So, but like you said, traditions was just a day, but our training was a week.
Yeah, mine too. Mine was 2 weeks.
Right. That's the only thing I know.
Ours was 3 weeks from the time you got hired before you actually did a
gosh.
shift. You knew everything about the parks. I mean, there's not,
Yeah. Well, you did. I'm sure they still did it because they did it when I did it. Was Magic. Yeah, no.
Once Upon a Time.
Once Upon a Time.
I taught that.
But they also did Disney Days.
Yep, I taught that.
You did too? Mm-hmm. Wow. We gave our guy such a hard time. He was like, I was back there with Michael Hornsby. Do you remember Mike Hornsby?
Oh my gosh.
And Anna. Remember Anna? I don't know her last name.
Anna the attendant?
Yes. Sweet as pie.
Yes.
We're back there. We're like the 3-headed Muppet old guy in the back. Like we just start saying out like he said something like, and we're gonna go to Disney's Wide World of Sports, and do you know blah 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 blah? And Mike yells up, lawsuit. He's like, all right, we're done with the guys in the back.
Moving on.
Yeah, moving on. But did that and then started. Tracy, do you remember? This is crazy. We used to give our social to get our clothes. Do you remember that?
Well, we had our cards.
Yeah, we had our ID, but I used to get my wardrobe, which is now the character.
No, because when you started when 2000, you said 2001.
We had to give our ID, like our social.
Okay, so I mean, I'm sure I did at some point, but when I started where the character room. Oh no, it's the same thing because that was the actual main wardrobe.
Yes, that was main
for
wardrobe.
Magic Kingdom.
Yeah.
Yep. You didn't get to check out your clothes. You didn't I remember the first time I saw someone at 7-Eleven in a tiki room outfit, and I was like, dude, that person stole that. Like, because I was seasonal at that point, and I, being the Disney-esque magic person, walked over and was like, you're not supposed to leave Disney with that on. And she said, you can have 3. That's all she said to me, and she walked out, and I'm like, well, that's not very magical. Then the next time I worked, they were like, everything had switched. Because when I first started seasonal, you had to work 1 day a year.
Yeah, that was right.
That was it.
Yep.
And for probably from the time, because I worked the day after I found out I was pregnant with my daughter. Then I didn't work until December 23rd the following year, because I only had to work 1 day.
Oh, yeah.
They caught on to that. So then they changed.
Eventually, yes, they did. They got smart.
Yeah, they were like, hey, wait a minute.
Well, they didn't see the point point of giving someone a pass that was only going to be here we had so many, you knew this as well, we had so many people from out of state.
Right.
Which I thought was brilliant.
I mean, right now they're hurting for people, so.
I know. Shouldn't have done that.
Right.
I'm telling you. That's well, look, I got it good now. I'm telling you. I'm not, there are no regrets.
Agreed. But I would still, if you made me only work 5 days a week, I would still be there.
Oh, I'd still be seasonal too.
100%.
I could give up a Saturday. Every once in a while.
Every once in a while.
In the summertime, we work 4/10s. I'd work a Friday.
Right.
Just to go over there and pick up parade shifts
Crystal
or something.
Palace.
I do backstage traffic. Anything.
Toe Hill.
Crystal Palace?
Hooker
Did you
Hill.
just say Crystal Palace?
Yeah.
No way would I ever pick that shit up.
Chef Mickey's. There's like 47 characters there now. I went there the other night. And then they don't even they don't have to dance around with the napkins. Someone probably realized that was really not sanitary, as every chipmunk and everybody would just grab one off a table and swing that thing around. They're like, birthday. And I remember eggs are flying everywhere. I remember those were the days.
So what's your favorite, I like to ask everybody because I like to hear their opinion. There's a couple things I want to ask you. So what was your favorite place to work? Let's go with park, and then we'll do restaurant, and then we'll do something else.
My favorite place to work was Magic Kingdom.
Okay, that's where I started too.
Hands down.
Okay.
And I never transferred. I stayed at Magic Kingdom for 25 years, but I worked in the other parks. I worked at studios. I worked at Epcot.
But your home base was Magic Kingdom.
My home base was Magic Kingdom, and the character I played was only located at Magic Kingdom.
Right.
So, isn't that weird that after all these years I still feel like I can't say it?
Well, yeah, but I get it because you never knew.
Right.
So, never know.
Right.
It's not that I don't, you know what I mean? I try.
My best friend was fairy godmother.
There you go. I like to protect it as much as I can.
Because it's important.
It is. It really
still
is.
matters
it really
to me.
Is.
So she, my best friend was only at Magic Kingdom. So.
Gotcha. So I don't know if you've ever heard this story, but when I got to pick what I was going to be, a character, greeter, attendant now, they asked you, what park would you like to work in? And I was like, oh, this is a no-brainer. I'm going to Magic Kingdom. That's where it's at, baby.
Right.
I'll never forget Doris. God bless her. I don't know where she's at, but wherever you are, Doris, God bless you. She reminded me of the granny from Tweety Bird. I swear to God. And she had a little bit of a lisp. She was so adorable. She's like, so Billy, where are you going? I'm like, I'm not going to do her voice because I can't do it. But she's like, Billy, where are you going? I said, well, I'm going. I'm looking at her like, Doris, hello. As if there's any other place to go. I'm gonna go to Magic Kingdom. And she goes, well, I'm going to Epcot. And I was like, well, have fun with that because that place sucks.
Right, you got a ball. We got a castle.
Ended up being probably one of my worst mistakes ever because I loved Epcot after going there. But
I loved working Epcot shifts too, but I was a van driver.
You really didn't see much of the park.
Right. I remember getting sent there one day, as a furry friend.
Yeah.
And working there and being like, this is so laid back compared to Magic Kingdom. But when I started at Magic Kingdom, when I tell you the stuff that we did and got away with. Okay, so one of my favorite sets ever. This was a shift. Ready?
Tell people what a set is so they don't go, did she say sex?
Coitus? No, I don't refer to no, a set is
hard tea.
Yes, hard tea is a 30-minute on, 30-minute off, or 40-minute on, 20-minute off, depending on
weather.
20-minute on, 40-minute off.
Some places were 20 minutes.
Yeah, depending on the weather.
Yes.
Depending on the character that you were in. So when I first started, we're just going to refer to her as FGM. FGM didn't have a set times.
Right.
Like she stayed out forever. Right. But my first set of the day consisted of walking out of the castle and walking down Main Street, going through shops, saying hello to cast members. I sat on the bench with people and talked to them.
Cake.
It was so much fun.
Oh, yeah.
Just being me. There were no lines. People didn't rush to make lines and stuff like that. Autograph books were like, you saw them. But, and then I walked to Main Street, walked all the way down Main Street, and then went inside.
Yeah.
First set. My third set of the day was story time. That might have been 4 sets a day. I did 2 sets in front of next to the castle, and then the next set was a story time where Peter Pan and Fairy Godmother would read a story where Tiana is now.
Yeah.
It used
the
to just be in the Glades. Yes, the Glades. We just sat on the stage, no attendant.
Yeah,
none. Oh. Those were my favorite days. We rode the riverboat because they would be like, "Oh, no book today. Today you're gonna ride the riverboat." Because Fairy Godmother and Peter Pan are the best of friends.
Did you drive the riverboat? That'd have been so funny.
I didn't.
You're like, big wheel, keep on burning.
But there were so many other things I did, like Kim Sweeble.
Schweebs.
And us.
I love Schweebs.
I would say, I could be wrong, shout out to her if she wants to correct me on this, but
Kimmy.
Our favorite Mimi. Our favorite memory, Kimmy and Mimi, is we used to get to stand the last set of the night before parade, in between parades. We would stand on the balcony of the back of the castle and wave goodnight to the guests as the fireworks were going. As the fireworks were going.
Oh, that's magical. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, people would look up and they'd be like, oh, "There's the princess and her grandma." I'm like, "Not her grandmother." But
she just had the masquerade mask on. Like,
no, I know.
Like in Tokyo.
I know. So like, I got to do stuff like that. I have memories of. Well, I'll admit to it now. Shout out to Rob Bowdle.
Rob.
Rob and I used to have sets in Main Street, and we would climb the trees.
Oh yeah.
In Mickey Floral.
Yeah.
And then it was Mother's Day, and moms were coming in, and we were pulling the flowers out to give them to the moms, but they were coming up as the whole plant because you know how horticulture changes every night. So they were just gaping holes. And they were like, and then we were up on the tree, and he climbed up the tree. And well, I don't remember which one of us had money fall out of our chipmunk leg. And all of a sudden you hear, "Chip, Dale." Both of us got, and then we were stuck. We couldn't, you have no legs. So it was oh God, how do we get down? The attendant's laughing. No one's helping us. We're like, slide, shimmy, like shimmy down the trees and just ran into the break room and like just did stuff stuff. We used to, when I worked in the base, we used to try to send out sets like Stromboli. Who knows who Stromboli is? Great to eat.
Yeah, great stuff.
Yeah, those were so many amazing memories. Yeah. Sleeping at the top of Liberty Tree Tavern during late nights and watching the sunrise.
That is look, I'm glad you brought that up because that was one of my favorite break rooms.
The Liberty Tree Tavern.
Liberty Tree, it was so it was like so cozy.
And you always loved when you had like people that were there forever who would bring in like make curtains for it, and you were like, "Wow, this is nice."
Wow, you're putting a lot of effort into the dump.
Right. And then other days they would be like, "Go into this closet. This is your break room," and you're like, "All right, the asbestos is strong in here."
Literally, one time we had a hallway as a break room.
Oh, for sure.
For Skyway.
For sure. Do you know one time? Yes. Oh my gosh.
For Skyway?
Yeah. I was there the day that the man fell. I watched it.
No
I was
way.
opening Grotto as a coordinator.
No way.
Yes.
That was before my time.
I watched it.
I came right after that. That was in like late 99.
Oh, so you weren't there for FCF.
Yeah, no, I was there for FCF.
No, Skyway was there during FCF.
I was there for FCF.
Skyway opened, Grotto was already opened when that happened because I was coordinator opening.
Yeah, but I was there with Greg Hewlett.
Yeah,
FCF.
that was.
Yeah.
Oh.
Skyway had, well, maybe they hadn't closed it yet. Maybe when I first started.
It closed right after that.
Okay, so yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that poor guy.
That was awful. Yeah, some things have happened there that, you're just like, I mean, I grew up. I saw so many things, and I'll tell my kids, my students, like the difference, like Disney. You have to.
You're good.
Hold.
Mary Poppins. Cannon.
I learned how to be. I'm convinced a good teacher.
Yeah.
Because I know how to handle people.
Yeah. Yes.
But the stories. Oh my God. If I could write a book about things that kids told me.
Yes. Look, we used to keep a book in the grotto of what kids would say and stuff. We had this joke. Oh my God, it's so funny. Things kids said at Crystal Palace.
And
it was like I don't know. But whenever you said it, you had to say you had to do it in a little kid voice.
Yes, you have to.
So you're like, I don't know what booze is, but Mom said I was there. She had a lot of it when I was made. And you're like,
Listen, this is one of my favorite stories. I was, sitting in my throne, and this little kid come up to me, and then it was like a 3-hour set.
Yeah.
And Kimmy and I were there, and this little kid walks up and goes, the grandmother, I thought grandmother, is like, go take a picture. But the kid wouldn't come up. And I was like, come on, sweetie, come over here. Okay, smile at grandma. That's not my grandma. Well, as soon as a kid says that, you're like, oh,
Yeah.
And I said, okay, well, smile at the lady.
Some stranger.
Right. So that took you. So this kid turns around and goes, that's not my grandmother.
That's horrible.
And I said, okay. And she goes, that's not a stranger. And I said, okay. And she goes, that's my aunt, blah, blah. I said, okay.
I feel
Hi,
better.
all right. Right. Yeah. Okay. So turn around. I said, smile at and so. Little kid goes, I'm supposed to be with my mom. And I'm like, oh God, here we go. So Kimmy and I look at each other.
Custody battle.
The kid goes, I'm supposed to be with my mom, but I'm not because my mom and dad wanted to have quiet time. And she does the quotes and I'm like, and the aunt is like, okay, let's take a picture. And I'm laughing. Kimmy's laughing.
Oh
and
my
I said, quiet time? What do you mean? Like they were just going to be quiet and sit and stare at each other? That's weird. Yeah. Trying to stay. The little kid goes, I don't know. But last time they had quiet time, he got here. It was the brother.
Oh my gosh.
So I was like, that's awesome.
It was literally like the Disney commercial, like, Mom says I'm her little souvenir or something like that. When we last time they went to Disney.
Yep. Had that. I've had little kids run up to me, pick up their dress. Look, I didn't pee in my panties, so I have Cinderella panties. Thank you.
Yeah,
I've had kids pee on me.
Oh. Yeah, that kids are ruthless. Oh. I'm telling you right now.
Like the corner of my mind.
Right. Listen, when I first started, I was in Toontown and FCF a lot. So when I don't know, Toontown was just like
a free for all.
I was just about to say anything goes in Toontown.
What was the song that we used to always sing? That
Little Red Caboose, cigarettes and booze.
Yeah, cigarettes and booze, chug, cigarettes.
Yeah. You would come up with. I'm like people were like, how do you know these songs? I'm like, sir, I'm here 8 hours a day.
It's on loop. There's only 5.
FCF always had. Okay, so it depended on who they had, but they for one area or one point in time it was the Congo. So they had. Remember we had Congo in Adventureland. You had like King Louie and Baloo.
Yeah.
Well, they moved them to FCF. So of course we're playing like.
Because no one knew who Rebecca and Cloud Kickers were.
No. Rebecca Cunningham. I was like, wow. They went all out with that name. Rebecca Cunningham III.
The sponge hair.
Was she a lion? What was she? She was a lion,
She was a bear.
She's a bear? Are you
Her
sure?
son kicked Cloud Kicker?
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. Never mind. I don't know. Well, the mechanic was a lion. He was a lion. The one that's like, hey, everybody.
I think that's Grover. I think you got your characters mixed up.
It's all Disney now. Anyways, but Congo, they would play like there was a lot of Phil Collins because it was Tarzan.
Right. Oh, no.
It's like, and in learning you will teach. You're over there drumming.
Go.
You're like, oh,
5 minutes, get water.
Put him down.
Please refrain from picking the characters up. Por favor, manténgase jala.
But when I first started at FCF, it was Susie and Perla, Chip and Dale. So we had, summertime. So we're going to triple that.
Right.
We're going to triple that.
Stromboli. He was my go-to.
And Geppetto.
Those were my 2 go-tos.
Queen of Hearts made a couple songs. Queen of Hearts was lunch crew. Right. No, I'm just kidding. No, you had triple. You know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
Trips. Mm-hmm. You had trips. Then you had 5 attendants and 1 coordinator or 1 captain in that little break room.
That little itty bitty break room that just had the airflow out of the tube.
There's no air in that place. It was like,
oh no, that was they would put in those little things the tube, and we'd all stand in front of it and breathe it in. We're like, I'm so hot.
You're like, this is probably not good for us.
Right.
We're gonna pay for this in 20 years.
Maybe that's why I have so many breathing problems.
Here's your skull cap.
Don't forget to tie it on. Be on time for set. Oh, let me put on my moist costume.
You go across the way and through Mrs. Potts, you go through the double doors, and what's the first thing you hear? Sweet Jesus. Run away. It's from the Snow White thing. He said sweet princess.
Right.
But it sounded like sweet Jesus.
That Snow White ride was terrifying.
It was.
That witch.
But that's exactly that part where he's like, sweet princess.
Right.
But if you sat there, we're waiting to cross one day, I'm like, did he just say sweet Jesus?
Do you know
Run away.
Do you know that were you there when they used to do the 5K? Ride thing? Okay.
Yeah.
So myself and 6 other little friends that like to hang out with dwarfs all got
Minors.
to ride all got to ride the ride we got to ride the rides with the kids for the 5K.
Yeah.
But they didn't send attendants with us. So they put all 7 dwarfs on the cars with kids and sent us on the ride. And the ride broke down.
Oh my God. What a mess.
And none of us could tell anyone because we couldn't. And Hoggle.
I've been talking to him for 30 minutes, nothing.
Right. And Hoggle is friends with Dopey. And you know how he is. And we're stuck on the part where they're dancing, where Dopey's dancing.
Yeah.
And for those of you that can't see it, I'm making circular motions. So anyway, we get stuck and then they turn the audio off. So all you hear is, so Hoggle stands up on the thing and he's like trying to make the noise. And we're just sitting there and the kids are like, should we do something? Hello? We can't say anything. We're just staring at him. And finally, smart one, Doc, is like, hang on, jumps off and like runs to the front. And like, you didn't think to come and look for anybody on the ride? Yep.
You're over there doing Too Legit to Quit.
Over and over. Doing the I'm through. I'm through. Something. Skull cap is in my face. Can't see anything. The one piece of sweat that comes down your nose. And you're like,
oh my gosh.
It's time to get off set. I know this.
Or you have a watch inside?
I never did that. Do you know that when I did the Luau show, though, when you first did the Luau show, shout out to all the people who were mean over there, they would play tricks on you. So they'd put pagers. They would take pagers in your head.
Way.
So you're in the middle of the war dance, which was really hard to learn. And you're like, trying to be all tough and stuff with the stupid face smiling. And then all of a sudden it'd go bzz, bzz, and you're like, what's happening?
What is that?
What's happening? And the Hawaiians would laugh. They would laugh so hard because they could hear it. And you were like, you all were in on this. Then you'd run off stage and just, take a break in front of the tube.
Were they really like? This is gonna sound stupid, and I'm not trying to be funny, but were they really all Hawaiian?
Yeah.
Because the reason why I say that is because I've been to when I used to go to Epcot all the time, and I would go to the Yakitori House. They were from like Laos, like they weren't Japanese, but they spoke Japanese,
Okay, well then I don't know. The dancers, to my knowledge.
So that makes sense. Okay,
I don't know about the restaurant. It was only the dancers. They were the ones that were in on all the tricks.
Right. I just didn't know if they're like, we're short staffed. Come on over.
Right. You're gonna look fine. Wear this wig.
Yeah.
Do you know how to shake your hips?
Oh,
this is called
great.
the luau.
You look great. Just go on out there.
Right. Just play it off.
Oh my God. So, I'm just trying to give a picture to the audience, a visual, since they've never been there besides you and I. When you would go to check in every day, we had a base. We called it the Character Zoo.
Yeah.
And that's where I met Tracey. Is where she was, and they're checking people off. Her and Bruce Archie.
Oh.
Good times.
He just moved back to Florida.
Well, it's about time.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
Lou.
Bruce is so cool.
I know.
All the Bruces are cool.
I know. Really true,
Yes.
right?
Shout out to Bruce Wolf too.
Right.
But do you remember this attendant? I tell this story all the time, especially like when it's summertime, it's really hot. But do you remember the attendant? Her name was Kathy. She had glasses, had a really thick Southern accent. But she would come up to the window. You can ask Bruce. He'll do the same thing. It's hilarious. I still text him this every time. She didn't. You know how they would give us Powerade?
Yeah.
Well, she's like, she come up to the window. She's like, Bruce, can I have some of that Superade? And Bruce, without missing a beat, goes, Kathy.
Yes.
Bruce, Kathy, why don't you come over here and get some Superade? No, and dang well it ain't called Super 8, but he's like, Captain?
He used to answer the phone and he would go, Character Zoo, this is Bruce. Che. So anytime I see his name, that's what I think. Che. Were you in the original base?
Yeah.
The little itty bitty where we were
right
separated?
Next to Cosme. No, you're talking about resort base.
The resort, yeah. Were you there when it was a resort base?
No. Okay. I was there when it was in the base where now it's, well, I haven't been there in 7 years, 8 years.
I doubt it's changed.
The one next to the old costume.
Yeah. Okay.
I call it the pinnacle. It's like the hole in the wall. Literally, it's like a hole in the wall.
Yeah, it's the big hallway with all the windows.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
I was in the original. I was
across from Cash Control.
Yeah.
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 And then they went to where.
Then we went global.
Yeah, which Bruce Archie would always say, it's big global. You're the reason why we hold it global.
Yep, he does. Yep, I remember that. He would say that.
Yep.
He had names for everybody. Everybody had a name.
So global I was there for that. That was like 04, 03, 04. Because we got to go to park from there. It was like,
it had
like
been
officially. Like it was, you might have been able to do it before, but it was like when you bid, you could bid another park. You could bid, whatever.
Right. Yeah.
But it was, I remember we were in the Bumblebee, the
yellow and black.
The yellow and black, which is, I guess now they still give them to like people on light duty.
I was gonna say hazard work.
Oh my God! Did you ever have to do hazard work?
Yeah, they made me clean this. They made me clean the shelves in the tunnel. Those long shelves.
You know what I had to do? I had to go to Adventureland and gosh, they don't even sell clothes there anymore. It's where they had sunglasses right there by the bathrooms.
The Mercantile.
Mm-hmm. They had a gift shop there. I went in there and I just hung up T-shirts all day for 8 hours, and they were mean to people. They were like it made you appreciate where you came from.
They made me clean the tunnels. Those random
shelves. One more time in this camera.
They made me clean the tunnel. For those of you that don't know, there were these long shelf-like things in the tunnel. For everybody that worked at Magic Kingdom, I cleaned those. They gave me a bucket and a sponge and said, go clean the tunnel. I said, what do you mean? And they said, the shelf things. You don't even have a name for it. You maybe can we clean them?
All right. So we, light duty, experiencing the theme park, vibe, getting used to it, because it takes some getting used to when you've never been in that situation before. I'm talking about theme park life.
Probably, yeah, but I worked at the Jungle Cruise first, so I was really
there you go.
I got thrown into it.
I was gonna say, I remember when I first got there, parades was different from parks.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. They were all different.
Yeah. So like I remember I'm like, oh hey, I'm sitting on the bench. I'm like, so where are you working at then? Like, I'm parades. And I was like, oh.
Yeah, it was
my bad.
Right, it was an elite status. Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
I do remember my first parade. Like that was a cool experience.
That was cool.
It was like, oh, I'm meant to be here.
Which one was it? It was the 25th anniversary parade?
Mickey Mania.
Mickey Mania, that's right. You said that.
Yeah.
But you also said 25th anniversary.
I opened the 25th, yeah.
Oh, okay,
I opened that one.
Okay.
I still have the jacket. And I toured for the 25th. So the 25th is like, when they hit the 50, I was like, what?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. Isn't that 1990 still?
Well, the only jacket I have is Disney Mania. And we closed it.
Wow.
Because I was not here for the opening. I was like 6.
I love that show.
Or might have been. Yeah.
Disney Mania.
I love that show. It was great.
Oh, that's Mickey Mania.
Disney Mania was the one that was on Castle.
Yeah, no, I know.
Castle Station.
I just can't think of the song of it now. And then Every Day's a Holiday.
Yes.
Oh, I loved Every Day's a Holiday. Every Day's a Holiday. I sing that at school and people don't know it.
Well, that's unfortunate for them.
Right, because everybody should know every song I sing. All the time.
You're like, and this next little ditty I'm going to do is...
Sometimes when we touch... I say that to my kids too. And they're like, that's weird. I'm like, the honesty is too
It's a top 40 hit. Right. 20 years ago. I mean...
40
years. Something. Thanks for watching this part 1 of a 3-part podcast. Stay tuned for part 2 and part 3 coming soon.